to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check. Mic check. Waifu, waifu. Montel, is that you?
Tajay, what's happening?
This is episode 188 of Mic Check Waifu, waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Lube Complex and Don'tTalkShop.com. And it's mostly produced by Patreon producers AB, Aaron Brown, Dre, the GOAT G, Johnny from Shogo High, Ked the Pro from Chaotic Culture and Shogo High, explicitly Monique Williams, Nachi, and Fear. Thank you so much for supporting this, producing this, and many other episodes of the podcast. We appreciate y'all for holding us down for as long as y'all have. Again, last week, Saphir's new producer of this month. We appreciate you for joining that long list of legends. Shout out to Johnny and Ked the Pro for having me on Shogo High. Their Twitter Spaces. Make sure you follow them at Shogo High. It was a lot of fun. They were talking about anime they want to bring back, and they went into the Mappa thing, which we're going to get into a little bit later in this episode, which I didn't want to stay for that conversation because I didn't want to be influenced. So I want to go in with my own thoughts, fresh and ready to pop off, because I'm definitely going to pop off. I digress. Real quick, before we get into that, thank y'all so much for supporting us on Patreon. We have another new episode of The After Story, which is our conversational podcast, which one of us brings a topic to discuss, any topic that we want to discuss, and discuss it there. That's a Patreon exclusive podcast. That episode was fire.
Oh my God, it was fire.
It was so fire. We went into conspiracy theories, went into selling your sauce. We went into many different things. A lot of stuff gets a little bit personal, but it's kind of how we like it. It's dope. It's dope. We hope you like it too. Also, episode 3 of season 4, episode 3, Bungo Stray Dogs Watch Along with King Teliano is up on Patreon as well. And then coming this week is going to be a read along for the manhwa, for a manhwa. I'm still not going to share the name of the manhwa yet until I record it. But I can't wait till y'all see it, because this manhwa is super interesting. And I think it's going to entice a lot of people when I get it up there. So bear with me on that, but that's coming soon. I never did a read along or a watch along or anything like that before. So we're going to see how that goes. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Without further ado, let's do further. Tell, how you feeling?
Always good, bro. Always good. Been a pretty solid week. Apollo had a math assessment this week.
Okay. How'd that go?
Did fire. He blew my mind.
Let's go.
Boy was doing math I didn't even know he was prepared for yet.
Nice.
Super excited about that. He also had a reading assessment, which he kills me, bro. It always baffles me that he can read the words he reads. Like, he read the word experience.
Nice. Okay. I'm
like, boy, you in kindergarten. Come on, what are you doing? But I love it. And just everything he does is a surprise, but I just love it.
That's incredible.
It's been a great week. How about you, bro?
Same, pretty good week. I'm trying to get back into the swing of gaming. I'm gonna be honest with you, and sorry y'all if y'all are upset about this, whatever though. But I've been in the gaming rut because I've been wanting to just play Hogwarts Legacy. I've just been watching videos on that. So I've been just like fucking just anticipating that game coming out, which is next week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when is it out?
2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks. It's coming. It comes out February 7th if you pre-order, I think the deluxe edition or something like that, which I did, of course. But I'm looking forward to that.
You know, I was on the news in Cleveland for when the last Harry Potter movie dropped. I was like up at like 5 a.m. in the morning because the movie was fucking unnecessarily long. And then Valley View movie theater, when we left, it was like me and Dexter, and I can't remember who else. But we leave the movie theater, and they like, hey, how was the movie? It was like, first of all, it had to be at least 5 hours of other people before us that y'all could have stopped the interview, but y'all stopped the interview and that's from the sunrise at 5 a.m. in the morning for a Harry Potter movie.
Wow. I never know that.
Man, you know how you do. But yeah, it was actually funny because I did love that movie, bro. I loved that movie at the time, and it was real good, and that was a fun experience thinking about watching movies. But now I think about who I am now. I don't go to movie theaters no more, bro.
Yeah, no, I will, and only because we found this movie theater called iPick, which is in downtown Houston. Fucking amazing movie theater. Has the soundproof booths, 2 seats, and everybody like spread apart. And we went to go see Black Panther. Black Panther at that theater, and I mean, I got this fucking cherry bourbon something or another. It was fire. I was chilling with my legs up, soundproof booth, eating some nachos, and watching Black Panther. I was living a dream. So I'm probably gonna go see that Ant-Man movie there too.
Another movie theater you might want to check out if you want to do it. It's a date night theater called Juliet's HTX. I don't know if you heard of it. It's a restaurant. I don't know if you ever heard of Toby Nuagwe. He's a Houston rapper, but he like sings a lot of his stuff mostly. The singers, his backup singers and stuff, actually do live vocal performances there. So if you like music kind of stuff, they play piano, live vocal performances, rooftop movie theater. Real like kind of sexy kind of vibe, but it's all date night kind of stuff. So it's cool. So I was gonna say, I don't know if you like that, but it's dope. I'm thinking about going there with Monique soon. But
there you go. Yeah, you definitely do that. I just like Marvel movies. So that's about the extent of my experience. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. Other than that, doing real good now. Into some anime, Montel. Let's start off with your episode of the week.
My episode of the week has to be. Oh my goodness, we had some good ones this week too.
Definitely.
I feel like, and that's the hard part about some of this. A lot of this stuff this week was really good. I'm torn between. I'm not going to say Sugar Apple Fairy Tale. I'm going to say Buddy Daddies was episode of the week for me this week.
Nice. Okay. Pretty good episode then. It must have been.
Yeah, for sure.
This is going to go into, well, I'm going to do this as my episode of the week, and I'm going to do something else as the spotlight. And we're going to get into that a little bit later. But my episode of the week this week is The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten. This show, I just want to talk a little bit about it. And I'm going to say something very bold, and I mean this 100,000% from the bottom of my heart to the top of my soul. The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten has the 2 best protagonists of any slice of life there ever was. And I mean that shit. I mean that shit from the bottom of my heart, dude. These 2 are like my favorite main characters probably ever in any slice of life. Now, mind you, and it's not I'm not gonna say it's my favorite anime of all time or anything like that, because we're only 3 episodes in, but these 2 characters are phenomenal when it comes to like just a slice of life process in itself. I need to give credit where credit is due. The original story is by Seiki-san. I don't know who that is, but they are actually incredible with this story because they write the main characters like. It's funny because they're high school students, but they write them like adults, like mature adults who, yes, they have high school tendencies, but it doesn't hold them back or removes them from just like it just doesn't hold them back. And we're gonna get into more of that in the spoilers because this is going to go into spoiler talk in the second half of the show. Just to point that out. But I wanted everybody to hear me say that these 2 are the 2 best slice of life characters that I've seen probably in the last 3-4 years.
Can I piggyback on that?
Sure.
obviously the episode was fire. I wholeheartedly agree with that. I don't disagree in the slightest about that. And your love for those characters is completely founded, bro. Like, have you sat down? Like, I remember sitting down watching the episode. We'll talk about it more, but man, those characters are, it's like they're different, but they're so similar too. Yeah. They give you something that is I guess compulsorily different, but like it's still a very nice feeling that they have those similarities to bring each other together. We'll talk about it more in spoiler talk, but man, I agree. They are very, very likable, enjoyable characters. They give you no fluff to hate about them.
Yeah, I watch so much slice of life, dude, and it's almost every slice of life is extremely predictable in the sense of what you're gonna get character wise. You're gonna get the nervous. It's just a lot of shit that you expect from slice of life. But this is one that I can say like truly are two of my favorite characters. Moving on. There's something that we're going to start doing now, since there's a lot of shows this winter season that we just can't discuss all of. But we're going to make sure that we bring you a topic as we normally do from either the episode that we watched or a previous conversation or something like that. And episode of the week. Episode of the week, we're going to try not to go in that much detail like I just did with that, unfortunately, but we're going to bring something new, and it's going to be Spotlight. We're going to try to spotlight maybe one or two anime this week or each week while we're watching anime this winter season. And by doing that, we're going to avoid all spoilers. We're just going to go as general as we possibly can with the spotlight of the anime that we want to discuss. And as far as the first week of spotlighting that I want to do of a show, and it's hard to spotlight this because you have to have watched season 1. But the show I want to spotlight is Inspector. Season 2 of Inspector has been absolutely incredible. Like, absolutely incredible. Particularly these last 2 episodes. These last 2 episodes have been fucking mind-blowing. Fantastic set of episodes with some great characters in it. That's just fire. So, particularly these last 2 episodes of Inspector, it's telling a story that is looking like it's like a Disney fairy tale almost, the way it's being told, with, again, it's not necessarily a main character. It's a supporting character that who's had main character time in these last 2 episodes. One, he was just for general example, he was almost killed by his best friend while on a skiing trip 2 episodes ago, 2 episodes ago, and something happens to where he isn't killed. And from there, you kind of learn who he is and what he's about. And the fact that he's just a very good dude is prominent in these 2 episodes. And I think these 2 episodes of Inspector, so far, this season has started way better than season 1 to me personally, because it's not your typical monster of the week shit, because season 1 was very monster of the week for Inspector season 1, which is a Crunchyroll original, by the way. But this one is like more so a little bit deeper than just episode of the week, but it's extremely dope. So that's why I want to spotlight Inspector season 2.
It's way more investigative, way more detective oriented, way more detail oriented. I agree. It definitely pushes the story way more. My spotlight, and y'all heard me talk about it already on this on the podcast, would have to be Sugar Apple Fairy Tale. Man, I'm telling you, I haven't seen anyone on this timeline talk about this, but the main character in this anime, and I'm gonna say like the main characters because it's her and the male warrior fairy. The dynamic between these characters, how they kind of operate and move, is beautiful. But also what she's trying to do in terms of for her mother and what she's trying to achieve for herself. They bring up a lot of really interesting things about how, like, yes, you want to do something for someone else for like their memory and whatnot, but are you truly using or utilizing what their memory is to make something unique, right? Or are you just emulating or imitating what someone else did? Great concept so far, great story. And I mean, we're not too far in, but I'm loving how they're really progressing with like how they're looking at her in general. Like it already is trying to build into that character development for what she needs to do to actually make herself prominent. So yeah, Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, I'm really enjoying it so far. Let's see how it continues to grow.
So far.
Yeah, so far. You gotta be skeptical, man.
You definitely got to be skeptical because there is quite a few shows that I've watched one episode of and just instantly dropped. Next week we're gonna have our quote unquote elimination episode where we discuss shows that we feel like you should be watching this winter. So we're gonna have a very select amount of shows that we think you should be watching. I think we're each gonna bring 3 shows. Actually, you know what? If you're listening to this podcast right now, tweet at us at Mike Check Waifu and tell me how many episodes of a show you can watch in a season. So for example, it's winter season. How many shows can you watch a week? Let us know that on a tweet. Send us a tweet or join our Discord. You can join our Discord and just type in our general chat. Just let us know how many episodes you can watch in a week. And we're going to try to like tailor an elimination episode around your particular either, episode mileage or just give you a full list depending on how many responses we get. So write in to Mike Check at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter. And if you don't have a Twitter, message us on anywhere. Contact at MikeCheckWaifuWaifu.com is our email address too, by the way, which is something we haven't used ever or in a long time.
Wow.
But yeah, you go write in and let us know if you feel like you want to be a part of the show. All right, Tel. Is there another show you want to spotlight? Maybe one more.
We doing 2 spotlights?
Well, why not?
All right.
I could do one since you just went.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's one that I didn't give much time to in the days it came out, but it's Kubo Won't Let Me Be Invisible. Another show with a great character. This time it's just like it's sort of like if you're a slice of life fan like I am, you ever seen Teasing Master Kaguya-san? It's like that, but this time where the female protagonist, who is the girl who is just like who's like the girl in Teasing Master Kaguya-san. She's teased our guy, but it's more so prominent that she actually has a crush on him, and like she's kind of working through it the best way she can, while trying to help him become a little bit more visible. And I just think it's fucking adorable. It's an adorable show with, again, 2 great characters. Even though he's invisible, he's still like you would think he's boring in his world. He is, but it's still interesting to watch him kind of navigate about while basically nobody sees him. And the fact that he doesn't let it bother him. He doesn't let it get him down, because if you think about it, imagine just being ignored pretty much all your life. How miserable or depressed would that make you, right? And he's just with it, and I respect the hell out of him for that. And that's something I can get, like, it's a character I can get behind and respect even more, because it don't bother him, and I love that. I love that to death.
I actually watched the first episode of that earlier today.
It's good.
And yes, I see it. It is it's almost worthy of saying it's a vibe, right? Because
yeah, definitely.
From what you said about teasing
Master Kaguya-san,
that anime, I'm like, yo, this got to be the complete opposite, because it don't feel intrusive. Almost, it feels like. Well,
no, that one's different. I think you're thinking of Don't Toy With Me Nagatoro.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's the one. I fucking hate
this
that
one. Feels like it's like this could be a decent friendship in the long run. Like, this is actually something good. So yes, I agree with Polo on that one as well. Since we don't really have much meathead in these spotlights,
bring it
for the week. I am gonna go. Well, my second spotlight will be the reincarnation of the strongest exorcist in another world.
Yes.
Hear me out.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, bro doesn't play.
No.
But that's not just it though. It's like his philosophy and views of the world is what makes it so amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
he used to be the strongest in the world, and now he's in a world where he's not viewed as the strongest. Doesn't necessarily want to be viewed as the strongest.
What in the world was that?
My TV just turned on. My soundbar just made some noise. But,
look at you.
His TV just cut off, so he give us just some. You know what? I'm not even cutting this out. I'm keeping. Oh, look at you! Oh,
that was mad weird. That's that Exorcist. I might need him to come to my house.
That was funny.
Basically, he's in a world where the philosophy is that no matter how strong you are, numbers always win, right? And it's a really dope concept about how he tackles this philosophy, how he tackles the world, how he views the world. Is just as important as what actually happens when he's doing it, you know? So I do really enjoy this anime, and I think it's been good since episode 1.
Yeah, 100%.
So definitely another one worthy of that spotlight.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with more. Especially with, again, like you said, with the way he's going about it. That's extremely the most interesting part about the whole thing, because yeah, he's like, I'm not gonna make the same mistake twice, basically. Let's just put it there. So this week, the 2 shows we're going to spoil this week, or the 3 shows we're going to spoil this week, is obviously we're going to keep My Hero in the spoiler talk. Shout out to Saphir, because he gave us the idea to bring Vinland Saga and then The Angel Next Door. So those are going to be the 3 shows that we spoil this week, and I can't wait to get to all 3 of those, because that's going to be special. That's going to be in the second half of the show after our music break. I might use some more burn water stuff, because he had a lot of stuff that I was just having trouble pick through last week. But
and find a song.
Yeah, man, he has so much good stuff that he released that I didn't even know. So maybe one more burn water song. But before we get into that, let's get into this main topic, man. Well, I guess the split main topic. But first, we're gonna start off with our favorite studios. Okay.
Yes. Sir.
I want to give a shout out to our homie Huey TJ. He gave some of his favorite studios, which is really funny. Huey TJ is definitely the homie, because I think me and him are very similar in a lot of ways with our taste in anime, because he seems to be a slice of life fan like your boy. But he says Wit Studio, Madhouse, Kyoto Animation is his top 3. And he said Toei and Period raised us, but they're just picky. Both of those are not good studios. I mean, Period is maybe decent every once in a blue moon, but and obviously they're decent because of Bleach, and obviously they're going to go balls to the wall for the most latest Bleach, but they're not great. And Toei, not great either. In my personal opinion, I'm gonna just throw that out there. But your top 3 are killers in the studio game. Yeah. So how do you want to do this? You want to go back and forth like we always do when we do our lists?
Yeah, let's do. You got some honorable mentions you want to throw in first?
No.
Okay. You got 3?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, let's go back and forth then.
Okay. I'm gonna start off with number 3. My number 3 favorite studio is, funny enough, Wit Studio. Wit Studio is incredible. I mean, when you think about how deep it goes with Wit Studios did one of our favorite shows, and that's Vivi. They've done. Let's see, I had them pulled up and then lost it with all the anime. Yeah, they did Vivi. They did the early Attack on Titans that I love ever so much. Mm-hmm. Obviously, before it became what it is now. We'll get to that a little bit later. What else have they done? They've done quite a bit, but I'm trying to find one that I know I just absolutely fell in love with. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. Ancient Magnus Bride. Absolutely love that series. That series was incredible. They've done, funny enough, Seraph of the End they also did, which is also animated very well. Yep. As far as the story goes, it's kind of wishy-washy there for me personally. Yeah, exactly. Which I don't think is Wit Studio's fault, but the story wasn't that great there with the adaptation. But they also did the first season of Vinland Saga, which is very, very, very fucking good, man. I'm sad they're not doing season 2, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later, because I have something to say about that as well. But I mean, Spy Family, like Wit is unbelievable when it comes to the animation. I absolutely love Wit. They don't do that much. You want to talk about a picky studio? Wit Studio is a very, very picky studio with the anime they do. All right, Tel, what's your number 3?
My number 3, and I picked this based on the anime I enjoy within those studios, right?
Yeah, of course.
So my number 3 is Studio White Fox, and part of it is because, come on, man, ReZero.
Yes.
I love ReZero from top to bottom. Visually, storyboarding wise, sound design wise, character wise, I love it from top to bottom. And they have a lot to do with the actual visual representation, audio representation of that, and how it actually paced through the animation. So I love that. But they also did Steins Gate, or participate in Steins Gate, and let's be real, there's not a lot we can complain about on Steins Gate, especially after you finish season 1. So it's another beautiful one. And then we even got, what was that I was looking at? Goblin Slayer.
Animated well. Not a great show, but animated well.
Yeah, animated well. We have Grimoire of Zero, which I'm not sure if you watched, but another one that's animated relatively well, and I thought was relatively popular. Not sure if everyone watched that one, but that's another one I really liked, as well as Akame Got Killed, which is pretty popular, and Devil's a Part-Timer.
Nice. Okay. It's pretty good. I'm gonna let you do the second one. You go to your number 2, and then we'll bounce back to me.
All right, my number 2 is Cloverworks. Now,
really?
Yes.
Damn, I let you go because I thought you was gonna pick. Okay. Damn.
I picked Cloverworks.
Interesting.
Now, Cloverworks, they took part in Spy Family, My Dress Up Darling. They also took part in Tokyo 24th Ward, Shadow's House, Fate Grand Order. A lot of visually stunning anime, as well as season 1 of Promised Neverland, season 2. Let's not talk about that. They also took part in like the Persona series getting animated. So they do have a lot of really good work out there in terms of what they developed or helped develop, and give us some really good stuff.
I mean,
so
yeah, to piggyback off of that too, because I know you're not gonna say anything about these, but like you said, My Dress Up Darling, but also Horimiya, which was a fucking beautiful show, beautiful slice of life. They're pretty good when it comes to the slice of life animation and making it unique and kind of stand out from like a normal slice of life. That wow, this is interesting. But sorry to cut in on that.
No, I'm glad you did that, because I didn't say Horimiya. But yeah, you go ahead, bro.
You kind of threw me for a loop here, because I just knew you were going to choose. This is going to be really, really hard for me to flip my list now, because I guess we're going to have to throw some honorable mentions in here then, because this is crazy. I was going to go with the obvious. Then my number 2 is going to be Ufotable.
Why you do that?
Because I had to change it. I thought I had to change it. I had to wait. Is your number 1 Oh, yes. Okay.
Go ahead, bro.
No.
I gotta change my list up.
No. Keep Ufotable as your number 1, because I'm gonna bounce back then. Now that I know that you have it, I'm relieved. I'm gonna go with Project 9. Project 9 is my number 2. Project 9 is my number 2 because Project 9 they kind of specialize in a slice of life and anime genre. Project 9 is done. The Angel Next Door spoils me rotten. Love After World Domination. My Stepmom Daughter is my ex. Haji Hero. Like Project 9 is the bottom tier character, Tomazaki-san. Like Project 9 is fucking top tier slice of life anime that you can't go wrong with. And I think they're extremely underrated as far as studio goes. Again, they just do a lot of slice of life stuff. But I mean, even the shows that I've mentioned, like Love After World Domination Group, gained some popularity. I wish more people did watch My Stepmom Daughter Is My Ex, because it's a fantastic show with great characters again. And just, I don't know. I think they should get more attention. My number 2 is definitely Project Nah. Now, since I made you go twice in a row, I'm gonna go twice in a row with my number 1. But you can keep your Ufotable. Ufotable can be your number 1, but my number 1 is A1 Pictures. Obviously.
Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you so fucking much, bro. I didn't want to put that in the honorable mentions.
No. There's no way that A1 Pictures is going to be my number 1 from day one. And the reason being, I mean, if you think about, they should be like the all-star team. Now they're not Ufotable level quality. Okay, not everybody can be Ufotable, as we know. Okay, unbelievably good studio. What Ufotable do is beyond the realm of possibility, even. But A1 Pictures does some gorgeous stuff. For example, they're doing Nier Automata special. They did all the Sword Arts. The Sword Arts, love them or hate them, they look fucking phenomenal, man. Absolutely phenomenal. Even the Sword Art movies, which they've been focusing on now, are great. They're going to be doing Solo Leveling, and I guarantee you it's going to be beautiful. They've done one of my top 5, I think, top 5 anime of all time, 86. Like, it just, you just can't go wrong with A1 Picture. They did Kaguya-sama Love is War, if you like slice of life. They done the Fate Strange. I don't even know what the fuck that is.
That's another one.
But I'm pretty sure it looks great. I mean, like,
Lycoris Recoil.
Lycoris Recoil was one that a lot of people talked about.
Grimgar Fantasy and Ash,
which is my number 3 favorite anime of all time, I think. So, like, A1 Pictures, they done a lot. They done a whole hell of a lot of stuff. And that's why they're my number 1 studio. A lot of stuff that I just absolutely love, including the earlier OVAs in the earlier season of the 7 Deadly Sins, the one that actually looked good.
Right, the one that actually looked good. They did Erase. They did Your Lie in April.
All Noah Zero.
All Noah Zero. Yeah, I had it here too, because I was like, there's no way we could not mention this. They did Magi. They did Blue Exorcist.
Yes. A1 Pictures insane. So they have something for everybody. Slice of life all the way to the meathead. Whatever you want, they got it.
Good. I'm glad you didn't leave that one out. I was trying to take my list. I figured some of this stuff is obvious. I wanted to make sure we spread the list out a little bit. So I like that. Y'all know my number 1 is Ufotable.
Oh God, they're so good. I'm so glad you did that, because I was worried.
Unlimited budget works. You know where they put their money at, and it's always going to be in animation and sound design. Come on, bro. But yeah, as y'all already know, Ufotable has done or is currently doing Demon Slayer. Obviously, they've done Fate. They've done a lot, anything that has that that really ridiculously high budget animation. Tales of Zestiria, which is that's based on a video game.
Sure is.
I mean, it looks like a lot of what they're doing is just Fate.
Yeah, they're pretty much the Fate main studio.
They are the Fate studio. Tales of Symphonia. They do a lot of game based stuff, but the way that they do their animation, let's be real. I'm not gonna say it's unparalleled, because A1 Pictures does. To me, A1 Pictures does an equivalent job in a lot of ways.
Really? I would disagree.
I'm not saying that they're exactly as good as Ufotable, but I think A1 Pictures, in terms of sound design and animation, they're the closest ones who do like something as good or on that level. So yeah, but Ufotable, obviously amazing. They are my studio for my heart.
What's crazy is that they're going to be doing Genshin too. Holy shit. That's going to be insane.
Beautiful.
The thing about Ufotable is that they're very selective with what they do, which is something we can't say about other studios that we're going to get into a little bit later. But yeah, they're very selective with what they do, and I respect that. Like even less selective as A1. Like A1 does a lot of shit. Some might say too much shit in some points in some years, but like they are really, really good. And I don't think there's nobody even come close to the animation of Ufotable when it comes to their detail, when it comes to their level of very
CGI actually looks really good.
Very light uses of CGI, or the blend between CGI and 2D just is so seamless that you can't sometimes even tell the difference because it just looks that fucking good. They're unbelievably talented over there, and I feel like they just have the game on lock when it comes to the animation in general. I don't think they can be topped as far as the look of it. But A1 Pictures is definitely there. As far as honorable mentions, what you got for an honorable mention?
Square Enix, because
no way.
You don't think Square Enix does a great job? You don't like Toilet Bound Kaneko-kun?
No, they're publishers. They're not even a studio.
Well, what I was saying, studio, what's it called? Lurchi.
Okay.
Actually does it. But they did like Classroom of the Elite. They did
Lurchi. Yeah.
Given, Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, Astro Lost in Space, and Radiant, Classroom of the Elite, Danganronpa, Assassination Classroom. Mm-hmm. So obviously some stuff that people are very beholden to visually as well, but also just overall very good anime series. So Studio Lurchi is more what I'm talking about when I say Square Enix.
Square Enix is just a publisher. They're garbage. But as far as the publishing goes, but the one I thought you were going to say as your number 2, which is why Cloverworks surprised me, because Cloverworks probably would have been my number 2 if not for Project Nod, to be honest, was I thought you were going to say Studio Bones. I'm shocked that you didn't say Bones, because Bones did My Hero. They did Case Study of Vanitas. Mm-hmm. They done Eureka 7, Skate the Affinity. I heard was really, really good. I didn't watch it, obviously. Mob Psycho. People love Mob Psycho. Bungo Stray Dogs, all of the seasons there. Blood by K, Battlefront. That's another reason why I thought you was going to pick that. Yep. Fire Force, of course. That's Studio David. That's Studio David. I'm drunk.
Yeah, I was going to say Fire Force was...
Studio David is the one as another honorable mention, obviously. But they did... Bones did Noragami. They did Snow White with the red hair, which is a really good slice of life, by the way.
So they did a lot of my favorite shows, is what you said.
Yeah, that's what I thought you was gonna go with here with number 2. But they pop off. Studio Bones pop off. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Cloverworks was gonna be your number 2?
It probably would have been, but then I remember Project Nine existed. So when you say Cloverworks, that was my last minute change. I'm glad you said Cloverworks though, because then that means I got to give Project Nine their flowers.
Love,
and they're underrated, I think. Yeah, they did Full Metal. Yeah, Bones is insane. Oh, they did Ghostsick too. I like Ghostsick. Ghostsick is a 24 episode mystery romance drama that's pretty fire. Yeah. I mean, and then last but not least, Studio David.
Right.
Studio David has done, I mean, Fire Force alone should be enough for you to, or David Productions is their full title. It's enough for you to say, well, damn. But they're doing Undead Unluck, which is going to be dope.
Oh, yeah. Did you read that?
No, I've read it. Actually, I did. I read the first chapter. It was a little too meathead for me.
But it's hear me out.
Yeah, I'm listening.
It'll probably be better than Chainsaw Man, though, because I feel like the story is better there. Like the story actually has way more meaning and depth.
No, I definitely believe that. From the first chapter I read, it was okay, pretty okay as far as depth goes. Sagarada Reset which is one I watched last year, I think. I gave very good praise to. I even gave a special spoiler breakout that I put on our Patreon for that show. Yeah, man. David Productions haven't done much. I guess they've done JoJo's. So if you like that shitty art style.
The issue with JoJo's, the lines are too thick and the characters.
I fucking hate it. I can't stand that show. Just the look of it makes my balls itch. Anyway,
You said
Sorry, it does, man. Anyway, and then let's move on to a studio who wasn't in our honorable mentions, who wasn't in our top 3 studios, who actually does some decent work for some, quality stuff like JJK. The Campfire one is pretty good that they doing.
okay, yeah, I can agree with that.
But they're doing like 17 million shows, so it's kind of hard to choose one. Chainsaw Man looked okay. Tacto P Destiny looks fire. They done so much shit, bro. They done too much shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But that's kind of the point of this. And I just want to say, first and foremost,
Yasuke didn't look bad.
yeah, no, yeah. Okay.
It just is bad. Everything else.
Yeah. I don't know how to explain it. I guess I'll explain it by starting off with Vinland Saga. Okay. I have not, and this is just, I just want to mention this. I separate art style and animation completely. I hate Vinland Saga's art style. The art style that Mappa uses, it just, something about it I don't like. They didn't go the way of the art style of Jujutsu Kaisen. They went like this hard, stiff, kind of like boxy shape with the characters. And they did the same thing with Attack on Titan too, where Wit Studio had like the smooth, very granular, artistic art style. Mappa, they gave it these hard lines and hard, sharp edges. It's kind of hard to explain, but you guys know, if you watched it, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
It's not hard to explain. What it is they gave cartoon characters, anime characters, bold lining that you would give text in a paper. It's bad.
Yeah.
I hate how it looks.
It does. It looks bad. Even with the Campfire Cooking in Another World show, some of the characters have that Attack on Titan, Vinland Saga look, and it just don't fit. It looks weird. It looks like it doesn't belong. That art style is very, very, very specific, and I just don't like it. And the way Vinland Saga looks, it's just like what they did with Attack on Titan. For example, Wit Studio. No, who did Vinland Saga season 1 again? I forgot just that fast. It was A1 Pictures.
Was it Bones? Who did?
No, yeah, I think it was A1 Pictures. A1 Pictures did season 1, I believe, or was it Wit?
Yeah, let me find it.
It might be Wit. It might have been
Wit Studios.
Wit did season 1 of, just like what they did on Attack on Titan. Wit did season 1 of Vinland Saga, and it looked fucking phenomenal. There's nothing you can take away from season 1 of Vinland Saga. It looked great, and then it was passed over to Mappa, and it just looked as harsh. It looked, which I guess fit for Vinland Saga in a way, but I guess the best term I'm used to describe it is dingy. It's very, very dingy, art style wise. And I don't like it, man. I don't like it at all.
So here's my perspective on it, right? Is that like, I feel like what Mappa does wrong is that, for instance, and my perspective on season 1 of Vinland Saga is that it felt almost like these characters were personable, and they took the personality out of the actual characters with the art style or how they did it with Mappa. Like, it felt like these characters lost something in terms of dimensions for themselves. And I feel like that when you watch the Titans on Attack on Titan, like the Titans, they're these big hulking creatures, but they almost feel like they lost personality. Like the movements are wrong. Like everything about them just stands out too much. And that almost like, it's almost like you're over presenting something. Over representing something. And I'm not saying Mappa does that on everything, but they definitely do that with something. It's like they want something to represent it and they over represent it, and it just makes it I don't want to say like it's buoyant within like the context of the show, but it floats above everything else, and it doesn't look good anymore because it creates an inconsistency in the art style or in the actual animation of the show itself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Vinland Saga just is boring to look at. to me personally. It does seem flat. Attack on Titan was a perfect example. Like Wits, it was like fucking, it was special. It popped out of the screen, but in a way where it still fit what the art style of Attack on Titan was in season 1 through 3, 1 through 3. And then this final season, it just feels, it just feels off. It's the CGI and shit. Yeah, it feels like they took a lot of shortcuts with trying to make it a little bit easier. And again, like you said, with the personality within the characters' faces, it doesn't feel the same anymore as an Attack on Titan. And I think Polo, it's time to cue the music, because fuck Mappa. What they done with this Attack on Titan shit pissed me off to no end, Montel. When I tell you that these motherfuckers decide to milk it for everything that is worth possibly. Now, maybe it's not them. Maybe it's shareholders, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. It's them. Okay. Now, word on the street is that Wiz Studios called it the final season before Mappa even got a hold of it. So Mappa wouldn't have been ready to call this the final season because I don't know. I don't fucking know. There's no reason for it to even not be the final season. But I digress. They literally chose, for those of you that don't know, which I'm sure you know, they literally fucking chose to make part 3 of the final season into 2 parts. Why the fuck are we breaking up a part into parts? This makes no sense. There's no excuse for it. Now, maybe you could say it's because Mappa has a lot of shit going on, in which, sure, they do. They got Jujutsu Kaisen second season. They got Hell Paradise. They got the first part of part 3. The first part of part 3. Jesus Christ. They got Vinland Saga. They got Campfire Cooking. Like, they got a lot of shit ongoing and going on right now, which totally makes sense. But don't release part 1 of part 3 then. Just have it all part 1 of part. This is fucking ridiculous. Listen how ridiculous I sound. Just release it all at once. Now, this has nothing to do with my personal bias and me hating Attack on Titan now, because, for example, season 1 through 3, I liked Attack on Titan a lot. I did, until I read it, and then when I read it, I realized that, wait a minute, what the fuck is this? It lost all its personality towards the end of it, towards the middle and the end of Attack on Titan. But that's personal. That's subjective. As far as what they're doing to this show, I want this shit to be fucking done, so I don't have to talk about it anymore. I am over Attack on Titan. I am over the fucking moon with talking about this show, and Mappa's making it worse. Not only did they make the animation and the art style worse in Attack on Titan final season in all parts, but they're now breaking up part 3 into 2 fucking parts. It just doesn't make any sense. And there's only one explanation to this. The only explanation is that they're trying to get as much money as they possibly can out of this final season, because they know Attack on Titan is a fucking cash cow, because everybody and their mama will make up every excuse as to why the show is good or still good, even though it's not. Maybe it's because when the end happens, they're biding their time, because when the end happens, they're going to fucking piss off an entire fan base of people when they get that ending. Now, I'm going to spoil anything, because obviously I read the manga, and a lot of people have read the manga, and a lot of people didn't know. Most people didn't. To be fair, most people don't know the end of Attack on Titan. But when they learn the end of Attack on Titan, they know that this shit is going to blow the fuck up in their face. And when they blow the fuck up in their face, they're going to lose that fan base, probably mostly completely, in my personal opinion. Because I got a feeling that a lot of people are going to agree with us when they see that end. Well, me, I don't know. I forgot how Tell feels. But when they see that ending and how just lackluster it is. It's not even the fact that the way it ended, because the way it ended is fine. I'm fine with the way it ended. It's just so lackluster that you think you feel like you wasted your time. Empty. Very, very empty. And that's exactly what it is. I felt empty. But that's my reason. I think it's because they know that ending is going to fucking piss so many people off, and it's not going to be very well received. So they're trying to drag out the name Attack on Titan for as long as they possibly can, to milk out as much money as they possibly can. And if you got an excuse for this, you're just a milk drinker, and I don't respect you. There's no excuses for this. It's ridiculous.
Oh my goodness.
Doofus.
So hear me out on this, right? My perspective is not far from Polo's. The issue with drawing something out like this is, yes, it seems like a ploy for money, right? Even if it's not for money, if it's because they want to deliver it properly, right? Or let's say, for instance, they're dragging it out because Mappa has too much on their plate. Why let Mappa take it over in the first place?
Keep it. If Wade said, I'm not doing this shit.
Yeah, probably, right? They probably say we're not doing this. But why let a studio who has too much on their plate take it over in the first place? Why give us something? Because in the issue with it is that at this point, I almost rather it feel rushed.
I'm ready for it to just end, yeah.
Yeah, because it should be over. I shouldn't be waiting 6 months for a part 3, part 2. I don't need part 5 in my part 3. Like, it's too much going on with this. Yeah. Like, we already had to split up the final season into 2 parts. Now we at part 3 and I got more. And while I get it, right? I get it. This is going to a different studio. So this studio wants to kind of lay their groundwork a little bit differently, probably, right? Let's just say that's what they're doing. They're laying their groundwork differently. It still feels like like they're doing too much within the season, right? Like they could have given us 2 cores and it'd been like 2 12-part cores and just ended this shit. It doesn't need to be this long. It doesn't need to be this dragged on. And the issue with that is, while yes, I agree, there is a certain thing that happens with like streaming services, and this is exactly what I always end up doing. I'm watching a show. Part whatever comes out in a week when they already gave me 10 episodes of this show. The season finale comes out in a week, but they started off the original whole thing with, I'm not watching that season finale. I might not even watch the show anymore because you're telling me the season finale come out in a week when you could have just gave it all to me. Yeah. Like, what's the point? Why give? And I mean, like, if you already have it there, if you already have it in production, if you already have the philosophy or ability to get it done, why split it up? Why have risked that chance at losing some of your viewer base? Because if this had already dropped, I'm pretty sure this would have already been like high trending, tons of money from it, and it would have been done. And I guess that's what they're trying to avoid, is it just being done. But people are going to be done mentally trying to wait for this. And that's the issue that I think that a lot of these studios are going to run into when you do all these separate split ups. Because Spy Family did fine, although I don't remember it being talked about much for that second core. So yes, this might do fine for this part, but at this point, so many people wanted to read it because they were expecting this final part to be the actual final. So many people went and read it. They're probably not even going to watch this.
Right.
We gonna do spoiler talk for part 3, part 2, and be like, is anyone listening? We're gonna knock on the microphone. Is anyone there? Probably not, because we're tired of this. We don't want to talk about Attack on Titan anymore.
Bruh.
So when we get there, we're gonna see what happens, but I can't imagine it shaking as much as it was supposed to, you know?
Not at all. So for perspectives, the first part of the final season was 12 episodes. The second part of the final season was 16 episodes. Part 3 is broken up into 2 cores, which means that we're probably going to get maybe a 12 and 12, which doesn't even make sense for.
It doesn't even take that much.
It doesn't even, it's not going to, it shouldn't be that long. So if they're doing a 12 and 12 for 2 cores for 2 parts for part 3, that's 24 more episodes. Okay. It shouldn't take that long, right? Or they're going to give us 6 episodes, and they're going to give us 6 more episodes. And that's really not going to make sense for you to have 2 parts of a third part of a final season.
At this point, I want a movie. Just give me a movie and call it done.
Fuck is what sense does that make to have 6 episodes, then break down to another core to go on break for another 3 months and then come back with the other core of a part 3? it doesn't make any fucking sense. They're just trying to milk this because they know the ending is controversial. They know the ending is going to basically shut down this Attack on Titan rabid fan base that exists, unfortunately. Okay, it's not going to shut it down completely. It's still going to have those tea drinkers, but it's fine. I think it's just because they know that it's controversial and they're just trying to go as long as they possibly can.
Sadly, at this point, I think Attack on Titan should have ended at season 1, episode 3 when Eren got eaten. they taking all the hype away from me at this point.
100%.
I'm over it. Like I would rather have just lived with the good memories I have of Attack on Titan's animation and just stopped. I almost feel like Hunter x Hunter did it better. just let it stop. I'd rather just be incomplete at this point, bro.
Exactly. And man, I can't wait till Hunter x Hunter come back. You know it's coming back, but
I know, right? And that's hype.
Yeah, that's actually hype.
Give me a part 3, core 2 of that. At least I know, shit. But Attack on Titan, come on, man. I don't even know at this point.
No, it's valid criticisms here. Again, I hate Attack on Titan. I think Tell likes it fine. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Let's go to this recommendation roulette. It's Tell turn to roll a year, right? No, it's my turn. I don't remember.
I think you wrote it last week.
Okay, your turn. Recommendation roulette. This is where one of us rolls a year and we both give you recommendations from that year. Let's find out what year we get this year.
God, we getting a lot of modern years, bro.
What you get?
2019.
Okay. It's like the 4th time we got in 2019.
I think we got 2020 last week.
Yeah, but we still got 2019. I think a couple of times actually. That's okay. 2019 was a good year because that was the year that this podcast started. I think one of the years I gave quintessential quintuplets. Dude, where do we even go from here? Everything else is like, I gave Orisuke for a year. Holy shit. Beastar, if you see me, I got King Kong. I'm just joking. Hey, it's not that. I guess it is. I don't know, man. 2019 is
I got you.
Go ahead.
For all of my Fate fans, if you happen to miss it, Lord El Malloy II's Case Files. It is essentially a spinoff on the Fate series where it's less action oriented, more detective, story driven. Now there is action in it, but it's more about figuring out different information about the world, different characters, that kind of stuff. Pretty interesting series. If you are just here for action, probably not gonna like it. But if you are here for an actual investigative story, it's pretty decent.
Okay. Damn, I wish season 1 was this year as well, but it's not. I'm gonna go with My Roommate is a Cat. Very, very, very cute slice of life comedy show. With a nice main character who's an artist who comes across this cat, and you kind of get inside the mind of the cat, and the cat has its own little narrative dialogue. And the guy who's never taken care of a cat before begins to take care of this cat and gets out of his neatness, if you will, or his shut-in kind of mentality. Begins to open up a little bit more because of this, mostly because of this cat. Very, very dope slice of life story. Very actually funny. It made me laugh out loud a little bit. So My Roommate is a Cat is a very good, very, very good show. So check that out from 2019. We're going to take this break, and when we come back, we're going to spoil my hero. Angel Next Door spoils me rotten, as well as Vinland Saga Season 2. All right, we'll be right back after these. And welcome back to episode 188 of Mic Check Waifu. We're here in the spoiler talk to spoil My Hero Academia. Let's go to the episode here that we're spoiling because I gotta remember that I need to do that. We're spoiling episode 16 of My Hero Academia season 6. For this episode, for me personally, was probably my least favorite episode.
Really?
Yes.
Oh goodness! Holy shit!
Yes.
Well then, I am surprised and kind of stoked.
Yeah. So, sorry, I took a sip of water. The Hawks story was okay, but I didn't really care that much about that. Probably because I don't really care that much about Hawks. That's kind of that may be just a personal problem with me personally. He's an okay character. He's a fine character. His backstory was kind of cool. I just think it drug on a little bit too long. The best part about the episode was the end of the episode was Endeavor seeing his family again. That's what last week, if you remember, I talked about that's the part I wanted to see when their mom pulled up. When the mom pulled up, that's the conversation I wanted to have. That's the conversation I needed to see. I didn't really like it. The episode wasn't the episode titled
Todoroki Family.
Yeah, part 2 or something like that. Why did we only get 4 minutes of the Todoroki family? You know what I'm saying? So that kind of like tempered my expectations with this episode. Again, getting the Hawk stuff was okay. It just didn't need to drag on for as long as it did. I didn't care about his family backstory whatsoever. They kind of gave us a brief synopsis when they gave the fact that when they was first telling the fact that he was like this undercover hero doing like undercover missions against the villains to become a better voice, I guess, for determining what or figuring out what's going on with the league. That was cool, but I felt like we didn't need this much of the Hawk's backstory. Again, he's a fine character. He's a good character. I just thought it drug way too fucking long. And the name of the episode was the Todoroki Family, whatever, part 2. And that's what I feel like we should have gotten.
So I agree with you. This has had to be probably my least favorite episode. Not for necessarily the same reason, but I didn't need to see the G-Mobile. I didn't need to see none of that shit.
Yeah.
It was cool to see that the world is falling into like this I don't necessarily agree with the hero descent. That's cool and all, but that part even played a little bit too long. I felt like
hold on real quick though. I think we needed that more than we needed the Hawks backstory though. Like seeing the results of what happened is way better to me personally than seeing Hawks backstory, period. Like I didn't need to see his shit at all.
I agree. In the manga, though, that Hawk's backstory felt like this, right? And it did not feel like this in this. Like, I'm watching the Hawk's backstory. I'm just like, come on, man. I feel like this should have been over. Yeah. Like, it should have been over 5 minutes ago, and we already 5 minutes in. Yeah, it's like it took too long. And I am not a fan of Endeavor, even though I love his power. None of that even excited me either. Like seeing the Todoroki family get together, that part didn't excite me. And it might have been like when I watched this episode, I saw someone on the timeline say, "I hate to say like I'm a manga reader people, but like this shit didn't hit." And that's just how I felt about this episode. And it could have been that the Hawks part already left a bad taste in my mouth. So when I got to the Endeavor part, I didn't feel as excited. Because reading it, I was actually pretty excited for it. I think that the pacing for this episode just left a bad taste in my mouth. That when we got there, I was just not thrilled anymore.
I don't think it was supposed to hit yet. That's the problem with it.
But why name it like you said, Todoroki Family's Hell or Hellish Todoroki Family, and then we get here and it's like
exactly
no Todoroki Family,
and that's the problem because I didn't feel like it was supposed to be an emotional impact at that point. Yeah, he was crying and he got seen by his family that he was crying, but I don't think that was kind of pseudo comedic. If anything, I don't think that was supposed to be anywhere near like impactful, quote unquote. It's just it was something to lead into the next episode, which fucks it up because again, like you said, the pacing of the Hawk shit fucked all of that up. Like we didn't need that much, the entire episode to be Hawk's backstory. Like it could have literally been 5 minutes.
But hear me out. Feel me out real quick, just bro. We start the episode with talking about the descent of like what's happening with the heroes and the people, right?
Which we needed. I think we
People are
needed.
becoming anti-hero. That's a serious inclination, you know. They're saying that humans, the regular people they do have quirks and stuff, are getting their own like accessories to fight against villains because they don't trust the heroes to do it for them anymore. We see
getting good part.
Heroes quitting, saying I can't be a hero anymore because the people don't trust me.
Another great
they didn't
part.
go into that detail, but they're saying the people don't trust me, so I can't really be a hero anymore. Right? I agree with that. That has impactful meanings to the world. We go into Hawk's story. Hawk's story could have also been an impactful meaning for what's happening right now, but they didn't do it in a right time frame. You know, like they could have delivered that message for what Hawks is supposed to be and how the world is developing into more of what Hawks and how the world sees Hawks now, right? Boom. Going to Todoroki. The Todoroki family is a direct like influence on why the world is the way it is now. A hero has so much ambition and wanting to be this grandiose hero, and let it end on something that impactful, but give us more details. Let us see her walk into the room and tell.
Let me stop you real quick though. Let me stop you real quick though. This is because you already know, but I'm gonna fix it for you. Okay. You already know. Margaritas already know. I'm gonna just this is how you fix this episode for me. The best Genus Mobile or whatever the fuck in Hawks in the car. The conversation that they had in the car, and then including the monologue Genus had when he was looking at the heroes and stuff, and then even the conversation they had about the civilians picking up the support tools. That perfect. Keep that in the episode. Eliminate Hawk's backstory completely. Leave it out. Just take it out of the episode. Put the Todoroki family conversation right after all of the hero shit and Best Genus monologue and they're talking about how the heroes are retiring, all the stuff that you said earlier. Keep that in there and then go to the Todoroki family because like you said, what happened is it transitioned from the conversations about them having about the people losing faith in the heroes. It transitioned into Endeavor being in the hospital and looking out the window and looking how sad, I am alive and blah, 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 blah. When he was having that conversation with himself and talking about how, you know, and seeing the protesters out there basically complaining about Endeavor. And if it would have brought in the Todoroki family and then continued on what we about to have next week, if that would have continued this week, this would have been the perfect fucking episode. The perfect episode. So whatever we're getting next week should have been in this episode right now. And then next week, you can give me Hawk's backstory. That's when I don't care how long the Hawk's backstory go, but you just don't throw it in the middle of a whole other situation where we still kind of gradually coming out of it. Yes, last week me and Tel said we kind of wanted a break, but the conversation between the people and then in the Todoroki family, if those two were together and then it just kind of like played out with their conversation the entire episode and let that play through, then it would have been again the perfect episode. And then next week you can give us Hawk's backstory. You can give us that all you want. It can be the entire episode if you wanted it to be. That would have made more sense to me personally. Putting it in this episode, it just didn't belong, and it just made the same mistake that this show has made in season 4, and what made season 4 extremely below average for us is that pacing, man. The placement of the backstory, the placement of just weird flashbacks, it just doesn't make sense or feel right with the flow of the episode.
Especially if you're going to name it
the Todoroki Hellish Family shit, part 2. Mappa shit. Gut check though. I need this Todoroki family conversation to happen fully. We need fucking Bakugo to finally make it to Deku because for some reason they showed the Bakugo scene again, but didn't show him even getting to Deku because it was all fucking Hawk's backstory, which is stupid. And then we need to just continue to see what happens from there.
Facts.
But I'm looking forward to it again. The season's still great. I'm not going to say this killed the whole season for me because that's not even fucking close. It's not even nowhere near that. But yeah, My Hero's still good. Season 6 still good. Next up, The Angel Next Door spoils me rotten. Should we say this for last and go to Vinland Saga?
No, let's. Well, I mean, Vinland Saga is probably more to talk about. We can talk about Vinland Saga first.
Yeah, because Vinland Saga is gonna be quick, I think. I don't
slaves.
Yeah. I don't remember season 1.
You don't remember season 1?
No,
You remember how season 1 ended?
No, I don't.
Season 1 ends on Thorfinn trying to kill. What's his name? The guy who killed his dad.
Okay.
Askeladd.
Yeah, but he been gave up on that in season 1.
Season 1 ends with Thorfinn trying to kill Askeladd, and Askeladd kills himself before Thorfinn could.
Oh, I think I remember.
And now Thorfinn is salty because he'll never get that vengeance. Now, Thorfinn essentially, because he was beholden to Askeladd, becomes a slave. Sold off as a slave. We hear in season 2 where he's cutting down trees to gain freedom.
Yeah, I needed a refresher.
So we get here. Like I said, they were slaves. This episode was okay, right? Like, I feel like there wasn't anything that felt grand about the story. They just talking to some people who were free, but they're really retainers. So like they have to work somebody else's land still. Nothing felt pertinent or important here.
Nothing did. It's setting up some predictable shonen shit. Somebody, the son's gonna betray the father, accidentally kill the father on some Masur slip kind of shit because obviously he's a doofus, and he's gonna take over the farm, and then everybody's gonna become slaves again. But
they'll probably rebel against him or something like that.
They're definitely, yeah, exactly. But they're definitely going to rebel against him, and then the farm is going to go to shit. And all these people that was having just a jolly good time in the wheat fields are going to die. And Thorfinn is going to escape with the Enor, and they're going to move the fuck on. Sorry to hit you with a gut check, but season 2 of Vinland Saga is kind of fucking boring.
It's ass-tastic right now.
Boring as fuck.
It's just the beginning, bro.
It's just the beginning, though. Yeah, I can't fully like discredit it. Now, we're only talking about episode 2 right now because episode 3 hasn't aired yet for us. It airs literally tomorrow from the day that we're recording this. We record on Sunday. It airs on Monday. The episode goes live on Tuesday. So you're getting our thoughts of episode 2, which means that episode 3 shit could pop off and it could be completely different. Or I could have predicted this shit exactly right, which I got a feeling that I am. But like, I'm gonna be honest. Vinland Saga season 1 was good. Looking at it now with 2 episodes, how can the anime community give this a score of 86%? And shit happened.
I do think season 1 probably deserves something like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely. It has an 87.
Season 2 is wild to have an 86 because
nothing happened. Literally
they
nothing.
Did nothing yet.
So
we just saw Thorfinn, the main character.
Yeah, this is why I say, like, I cannot, and don't take this personal, friends.
Take it personal.
I cannot conversate or debate with anybody in the anime community because this is the kind of shit that they do. Okay, they're going to. This is going to be very antagonistic, but they're going to ride the dick of Attack on Titan all the way through, no matter how good or bad it is. They're going to hog wild My Hero. And they're going to kill you if you say anything bad about My Hero or Black Clover or any shonen. That's their shit. This is people like this that give Vinland Saga season 2 already, which is only 2 episodes in from the time you're hearing this. Only 2 episodes in, 86 when nothing has happened, and 86% means that a shit ton of people gave this a 10 and a few people gave this an 8, which gives it the 86%, which means that it doesn't matter what you say. These people make these shows their personality. If you say anything bad about Vinland Saga, you're saying something bad about their personality, and they will fucking try their best to kill you in real life. So it just I'm glad that y'all listen to Mic Check Waifu because we're going to be objective. Even though we're subjectively objective, we're going to try our best to be objective, even when it comes to shows that we like. And Vinland Saga season 1, we like. I thought it was good. But season 2 just ain't it.
And let's give the people the benefit of the doubt, right? Mm-hmm. And assume they've read. Let's say they've read the manga and decided we just gonna give it an 85 or an 86 because we know read what's gonna
happen. That's why they have a manga score.
Yeah, that's also I'll say, right, facts. But that's also taking into consideration that an 86 means that there are people who probably gave it 100. Mm-hmm. Now, those are the people Polo really talking about with that personality. Yeah, Vinland Saga is their personality.
Facts.
Because somebody on there gave it a 20 because ain't shit happening yet. But right now it's sitting at an 86 because there's more people giving it 100. Mm-hmm. And I hope that at some point we get to the point where we don't rate it until it's done.
Yes, man. Make that make sense. It's just, I don't know. It's very weird. Again, this episode, they were cutting down trees, I guess. The son showed how incompetent he is because he's a spoiled brat because he doesn't want to live in the middle of nowhere. He wants to become a warrior, which once he see death, I guarantee you that shit gonna change.
Right. Woodcutter Simulator and I want to be a warrior.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. There was nothing really much to talk about here with this because ain't shit happen. Moving on. The Angel Next Door spoils me, Rod. Again,
as Polo said, these characters are highly, inexcusably lovable. It is a crime how lovable these characters are. It's kind of ridiculous. The flaw in these characters is that they don't already love each other, and they're kids, so it's cool that they don't love each other. It's not even really a flaw. I guess this is kind of like without spoilers, but I want to see where it goes because I really enjoy just the wholesomeness and the uniqueness of their relationship because they're really kind of great, but also like you said, there's something deeper with the girl.
Yes,
she's used to being, she almost said lonely, but alone.
Yep.
And we kind of called that.
Yep.
But yes, I love these characters and what they are together. How are you feeling?
I just love the fact that they introduced me to a waifu, which is his mom.
She looked like a kid though, but get it.
I absolutely love his mom. She's a sweetheart. The way she came into that house and was just like,
I thought paying the bills.
Exactly. I thought she was going to be trash with the way he was talking about her in previous episodes about his family. He was kind of like cagey about it because I thought that was something that they may have had in common with their family not being the best people. But she's like the best person ever. She's just all about her son and taking care of him. Even the way she describes her son to her is to the angel per se. It was this fucking sweetest thing. He was like, hey, he's a good guy. He's just not good with females. So just keep that in mind.
Give him a moment. He'll figure it out.
Yeah, give him a moment. He'll figure it out. And again, that's exactly what's funny about that is I absolutely believe that. Like he may not be good with girls, but he's competent, in a way of like not a bumbling idiot when it comes to females.
And let me tell you exactly what you mean. Imagine Rent a Girlfriend with one girl.
Oh my God, bro.
And he actually just is straight up like
kept it real.
Not a virgin idiot.
If you just kept it real. Listen, because this character is like, you believe that he doesn't yet feel for her yet, but you can see the feelings naturally growing.
They're naturally occurring.
And seeing the feelings naturally grow between him and even with her, like you can kind of tell that she's feeling like, I guess what's the word I'm looking for? She's starting to understand that she feels for him in a kind of a weird way. I know it's hard to say because it's not really necessarily obvious with her.
It feels like a wholesome camaraderie, right? Like,
yes,
like they do feel like they're legit just friends, but you can still feel that romance. Like that's just kind of the romance is like, it's not like a side story, but it's just a little sampler on the side. Like it's coming. We just not going to throw it all in your face. We want you to realize that this is actually just like a cultivation of their relationship. Like it's growing and it doesn't have to be super fast. It's just building.
Yeah. What's funny is that why is all the best slice of life original stories? I mean, maybe it's not unusual because they are more in tune. And by they, I mean, women and the like are more in tune with that side of things and how things should probably go. I would agree. I would agree with that. Woman? This is written. I mean, Seiki.
Okay.
Seiki-san seems like she would be a female. She's written. This is the only thing she's written. Yeah. Actually, she has a few short stories, but this is her first manga that. Yeah.
Good job, ladies, because y'all killing it.
Killing it right now with More Than a Married Couple. Now this, I mean, the Darling and I think My Dress Up Darling is also written by a female too, right? Yeah. So I feel like they got it on lock. They got the slice of life game on lock.
Need to go ahead and chill, guys. Y'all ain't writing it like this. Unless y'all could do it like this. But yeah, bro.
Leave it there.
Even when they introduced like the other couple, right, for the holiday.
They're adorable.
He was like, come on, man. He was like, come on, bro.
I love that, man. His best friend is already in a relationship, so you ain't got to worry about that weirdness with the best friend that is a sucker for women, but he always fail miserably because he's the comedic relief. No, none of that. None of that typical shit here. And that's, again, why I like it so much. It's a very typical yet unusual show. It's unusually typical because it's a typical love story, right?
It's typically unusual.
Yeah, but it's unusual in its execution. And its execution has been flawless so far.
Yes.
Every time an episode ends, I'd always say out loud to myself, I fucking want more, man. Same thing with More Than a Married Couple. I just, every time it ended, I was like, fuck, man, I want more. This is More Than a Married Couple for me this season.
Okay. I mean, hey.
This became the last thing I watch every week.
Yeah, it is that good.
Anything else? Gut check. What do you think is going to happen next?
I think, I don't know. Let's be real, because like each episode has kind of been like a different kind of scenario.
Yeah,
I kind of feel like maybe since they gave us that like glimpse of she's used to being alone / lonely. Maybe we'll get another like a slightly deeper introspection into what's going on.
Wait, time out, Montel. Did you forget what happened at the end of this episode? I think you did.
Oh yeah. She next door.
Yeah. So the best friend and the girlfriend saw that she was next door, and they already know from his conversations that he was having with them that he's been giving this stuff to the girl next door.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen now that you got your little refresher with that?
I did forget. He got exposed.
Yeah, he got exposed. So is it going to be? I don't know. What you think?
They gonna keep it the way it is. It's completely platonic friendship. I don't think they're gonna change that up, bro. Because I feel like what happens probably is she gets invited over. That's probably gonna happen. But I do think that his friend and his friend and the girlfriend are gonna leave, and they're gonna kind of talk about like why she's alone, You know, like, hey, I know that you didn't necessarily want to come and you were invited by a bunch of guys, but also I just want to know why you by yourself. And he also got that he was told that she told everybody else that she had something to do with somebody else. Because other people invited her out for the holiday.
That's right.
She told them that she had something else to do.
Right.
So I don't know, bro. I don't know now. Your reminder fucked me up.
Yeah, because now, listen, I'm thinking that he plays it off. They both play it off. Like, I didn't know you were next door kind of shit. And he was talking about the other next door neighbor. Because there's two sides to your next door. Now, that's what I'm assuming that they can do. Somebody, right. I didn't know you were here. Whoa, what are you doing here? That's crazy. You live next door this whole time. Oh.
That's when a girlfriend. I hope they don't go that way.
I do. I hope they do.
Really?
Yeah, because I think keeping it the secret has been fun, you know? Because what it's been giving us is the opportunity for them to notice each other. Eyes. Yes. Notice each other from afar. Look from a distance and just kind of see and observe fondly from a distance. Adding another couple into that makes it a little bit more strange now, because now they're going to be kind of pointing them into a direction that ain't necessarily natural as it has been these previous episodes. So, you know, I hope they play it off. I hope he says the other next door neighbor. I hope they don't even know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just hope that kind of flip that on his head. But I got a feeling that you're a little bit more right when she's gonna get invited over. What are you doing here? And they're gonna kind of come clean with what they've been doing, which is, I think, going to change the whole dynamic and maybe even the episode's trajectory, which hopefully still is good. We'll see.
And let's also be fair, right? Let's say he tells his friend, that's still his best friend. Doesn't mean his best friend is gonna go out and tell the world. That's like if I told you, hey, Polo, I got a new girlfriend, or I'm married. It ain't like you can go out to the world. If I said, hey, don't tell nobody though, and you're going to tell the whole world. Maybe his friend respects his boundaries, because this does seem like a pretty relatively somewhat respectful anime to those kind of circumstances.
Absolutely.
So let's hope that that's what happens.
Yeah.
You know,
we can only hope, because that, I don't know. I just love this show so far. I'm not going to give it a 100 or a 90 or an 80 yet, but so far so good, you know.
He'll hit you with a pleasant surprise.
I hope so. I hope it is. I hope it stays pleasant. I just can't wait to start learning about her backstory and figuring out what her family about. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna make us cry. Watch.
Oh God, I'm gonna hate it.
Polo about to get some Clannad tears.
I hope not. I don't want anybody. I mean, maybe both. You know.
I'm calling out her parents died.
It could be. Could be.
Parents and a little brother died in a car accident, and I know it sounds sad, but that's probably what happened.
Who paying for shit? Inheritance?
Inheritance.
Yeah.
Full. Oh, she got a scholarship, remember?
That's true. That's why she got a scholarship. Maybe she's living with like a aunt or a grandmother or something like that, or was living with an aunt or grandmother, and they could be. It could be.
I don't know, bro.
It's a good show though. It's a great show.
Great show.
But I'm at Polo Bornfly on all social media.
I'm at King Teliano on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mike Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mike Check Waifu on Instagram and TikTok. And as always, Mike Check.
Here's the heart.
Consider.
You're now tuned into Mike Check
Waifu.